Happy holidays, romance readers. I am Liz Donatelli. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance, the #1 romance novel talk show on YouTube. In celebration of this season, I am joined by a jolly group of fabulous authors to discuss their 2023 holiday romance novels. Kelly Farmer is the author of It's a Fabulous Life, pub date October 2023. LaQuette is the author of Secret Heir for Christmas, pub date October 2023. Rayne is the author duo of CLAUS and EFFECT, pub date November 2023. Wardell is the author of Mistletoe and Mishigas, pub date October 2023. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance, authors.
Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Let's begin with an icebreaker. Share a winter holiday tradition that you observe. M.A., aka Matt, could you go first, please?
Sure. So one tradition that I observe every year is my husband's mother has this tradition where she bakes Christmas cookies, like all different kinds, like there's usually, I don't know, 9 or 10 different varieties of cookies. And we always get a box of cookies, usually, a couple weeks before Christmas. And in our house, the tradition is when the box of cookies comes, the day it arrives, we open the box and we eat all of the cookies, all of them. And usually we get sick, but it's tradition. So you have to do it. Because otherwise they just sit around and you're like, grazing on them. And so we just decided one year, many years ago, that we were going to just eat them all. And I think it was actually my husband's idea, but I was game. And so now that's our tradition. We just eat all. Is that disgusting that we do that? I don't know, but we do.
But it makes sense to me because you're like, if we eat it now, we don't have to worry about it either going to waste. We don't have to worry about like maybe gorging ourselves in the future. Let's just do it now, be done with it, move on. So it makes sense to me. I probably wouldn't do it though, in actuality. I'm just curious, is there a decent enough variety of cookies?
Oh, yeah.
And
there's she makes the same ones every year.
Okay.
So like there's certain ones that I really like, and there's certain ones that he really likes, and so like we just kind of go at it.
Okay. What's your favorite Christmas cookie?
My favorite one that she makes, I don't know what they're called, but they're it's almost like a macaroon, but it's not a macaroon. It's like a macaroon with cookie, but it has like that gooey filling in the middle, which I love the gooey filling. So I usually get those.
All right. Well, who wants to go after that? Does anyone else have a food-related tradition? Maybe we'll just.
I do.
Okay. So, Rayne, what is your food-related winter holiday tradition?
So I'm on the other end. I'm the one baking the cookies. So like ever since I was little, my mom we just all get together and we bake all the cookies. And the recipes that have gone down to my grandma's and my grandpa's, and like it's the same ones every year. And like, but they're only.
Do you want my address?
They're only baked at Christmas. You know what I mean?
And now, which can you name a few that you?
Yeah, there's like kolachkis. And then there's like ribbon cookies and pecan sandies and just the sugar ones and then fudge. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! That sounds delicious.
Like one day gets set aside and we're all there and we all bake. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. And did you ever think of, or maybe you've done this, put together like a book of all of your cookie recipes to share with family and friends?
So my mom has it. So she has like ones that even like my grandpa had typed out on a typewriter and stuff. And so she kind of holds it all for us. So then, obviously one day maybe it'll be passed down.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. So no more food related traditions that I should. Oh, LaQuette, what is your winter holiday food tradition?
Yeah, so I'm not baking any cookies or anything like that. It's not my jam. What I do is my mom, when we were kids, like the morning of Christmas, like we'd all get up and do the Santa thing because I have small people living around, so we'd all get up after Santa arrived and hang out in the middle of the night. And so in the morning, when actual morning came, we'd be tired. she would pull out these Swiss Colony breakfasts. She'd order these Swiss Colony breakfasts, and if anyone has not had Swiss Colony, they make miniature food. I don't know why it's miniature, but
yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's a catalog, and everything is miniature in it. And so she'd get this huge box of like gourmet miniature foods, like ham, smoked ham, different types of like jams and jellies, and it was amazing because it felt really fancy, and we didn't have to make any real effort to put it together.
What is it about tiny like foods and
I don't know, but it's delicious. And I actually order from there for myself for my own house on Christmas mornings now.
Kelly, what is a winter holiday tradition that you observe?
What I would love about the holidays is like either going for a walk or driving around and looking at all of the decorations, houses mostly, but I also like, businesses that kind of go the extra mile. And it's, not just like, here's the tree in the lobby. It's like, ooh, they outline their building and they have little decorations in their windows. And the writer in me actually secretly loves that like people have their curtains open. And so you can like peek inside their houses, but it's not like in a creepy way. It's just more like, oh, that's a cool layout of their living room. And, it just sometimes gives you ideas for houses.
Excellent. Well, Piper, what are you going to leave us with? What holiday tradition?
Well, I have 2 kids. So every year leading up to Christmas, about 4 or 5 weeks ahead, we each get to pick one Christmas movie to watch each weekend. And so we draw names for the order because it's like a big deal if you're first or if you're last. So we keep it, fair, and we draw names. And the rule is you can't repeat. Like you can't ever repeat a movie that's been done in previous years. Okay. And everybody has to watch your movie without complaint. Even if your husband picks Die Hard because he insists on a Christmas movie.
I was going to ask you.
It is a Christmas movie. He is correct.
No, but yeah, so that debate's been raging in our house for years. But yeah, so we all pick our own Christmas movie and the family watches it. And so that's one of the traditions that we do every year.
Awesome. What movie did you pick for this year?
I Am Tomorrow Night.
Okay.
So this year, because all my favorites are gone because we've done them. Mm-hmm. So this year I saw an ad for, I think it's Merry Xmas, where the guy and the girl, they have split, but she's going to his parents' house for Christmas, and he's not supposed to be there, but he ends up showing up. So I'm going to force a rom-com on my son and my husband, and they'll hate every minute of it, but too bad.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Next, it's time to pitch your holiday romance. You are meeting today with me. I am the exec at Hallmark Channel, Lifetime, and Netflix.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yes, I represent all 3 of those powerful entities. You're going to pitch the movie adaptation of your holiday romance to me. Include your name, the book title, what your book is about, and any production notes, which can include filming location, dreamcast, director.
Well, this will be kind of interesting for me because my book was supposed to be published by Hallmark Publishing. So I don't know how this setup is going to go.
So
I'll say like, hi, you were supposed to make this into a movie and you didn't.
So LaQuette, would you like to step into the conference room with me and pitch your holiday romance to me?
Certainly. Hi, I'm LaQuette, and my holiday romance is titled Secret Heir for Christmas. It features a reclusive ex-actor who has a bit of a literal run-in with a secret billionaire who moves in next door, and he needs to plan a party for a dying relative. And because he's owns a club, he decides to help his poor neighbor, not knowing that this neighbor is part of the uber rich and wealthy people that he tried to leave behind in his past in Hollywood.
Okay. Who do you have attached to this project?
Well, my absolute dream cast would be Danny Pino from Cold Case and Law and Order. I think recently he's been on The Mayans.
Okay.
He would be my actor, Carter Jimenez.
Okay.
And the secret billionaire would be Sterling K. Brown of This Is Us fame.
Yeah. I have to check with my casting director because I think Sterling is already committed to another project. But we could definitely look into that. Let me work on that. If we were to move forward, what are we thinking in the way of setting film location? Do you have any locations scouted out?
Absolutely. This is going to take place in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. And
Mhm.
so you'll get to see this really historic part of Brooklyn that we don't often get to shine a light on.
Okay.
It's lots of beautiful brownstones, lots of great architecture. And during the Christmas season, it's just, it's its own small entity, its own small town.
Okay. That could be a little pricey, but we can always steal some shots. Some external shots. We could just steal some of them without getting permission. Don't say anything to anybody about that. And then we can always build a set to look like the inside of a brownstone because we're really we're trying to make a very cost-effective holiday movie. They have short shelf lives, so we've got to make sure that we don't spend too much because we also want to crank out a ton of them at the same time. But anyway, all the things that we could discuss in any future meetings. Anything in your novel that you would want to absolutely make it to the screen?
I absolutely would love to. There's a scene where they go to Brooklyn Borough Hall, which used to be the borough president's residence in Brooklyn. And they have this big major Christmas gala there. And I would love to see that happen. All of the beautiful people dressed to the nines, enjoying Christmas together.
Okay. I like it. Those visuals, they speak to me. I like it. I like what I'm hearing. So do you have representation or would I be contacting you directly if we want to move forward?
I do have representation, actually.
Okay.
I'm hired to my agent, LaToya Smith.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time, LaQuette. I'll be in touch. Maybe, possibly, maybe never. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of the pitches go.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate you giving me the time.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay. Kelly, why don't you come in to the conference room? I've already done my bathroom break and had a snack. So come on in.
The project I'm so excited to pitch to Hallmark, Lifetime, and Netflix is called It's a Fabulous Life. This is a sapphic, It's a Wonderful Life retelling in which Bailey George is forced to stay in her small town to run their Winter Wonderfest festival again. And but it's made slightly more tolerable by her high school crush, Maria Hatcher, moving back to town to run the library. But of course, on the day of the festival, one disaster snowballs after another. And so Bailey, declares that, oh, I can't stand this town. And she drives off in a huff. And then she meets magical drag queen Clara Angel of the House of Angel, who has, been blessed with a little magic. And so when Bailey declares that she wishes she's never been born in this Christmas-obsessed small town, Clara shows her just what Lanford Falls would look like if she'd never been born in it.
Wow. Okay. I see what you're doing here. Really smart. You took It's a Wonderful Life. You updated it for modern audiences. In Hollywood, we like to take things and we like to make them better. And I've been thinking for a long time, we have to make It's a Wonderful Life better. And you might be the person to do that, Kelly. Who do you have connected to the project in the way of cast?
In the way of cast, I will be playing woman who goes, that tree's gonna fall.
So you want to roll? You want to roll in this?
Yes, I will be brought on as a consulting producer.
Consulting. Oh, well, yes. Do you have representation? Because you're making some demands. I do.
Okay. I have a fabulous literary agent.
Okay.
And we're working with a fabulous film agent. As far as main casting, I believe our lead, Bailey George, would would be just wonderful if Melanie Scrofano, whose name I just butchered, she was Winona Earp on Winona Earp.
I watched that show. I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yes, I think she would just have that kind of wry, snarky attitude for the role.
Who else would be involved in this aside from you on your walk-on role, which we're going to have to negotiate? It might not even be a speaking role. Are you in SAG?
I'm not a SAG member. I can also just point and not say anything.
Yeah, we're going to have to reduce you just to a non-speaking role, if that's okay. Who's going to be playing opposite Winona Earp?
That I don't know. I do think it would be kind of funny if Kat Burrell, who played Agent Nicole Hott on Winona Earp, I think it would be kind of funny if she played Maria Hatcher, the love interest.
I know,
simply because they were not love interests on the show.
Right. I like where you're going with that. Okay, all right. I'm making some notes here.
Yes, basically the entire cast of Winona Earp apparently is going to be in this movie. So
I'm actually a-okay with that. I think most of them are probably out of work right now, and they're probably looking to get back on the screen. So we can work that out. And filming locations. Talk me through your what you're thinking.
We are going to need one of those adorable Canadian small towns outside of Toronto.
Okay.
That they film a lot of these movies at. We need a cutesy small town that has a village square, because the Winter Wonderfest takes place in the village square, and it's very important to the story.
Right. Well, because of budget restrictions, we might have to move it to a small town in Ohio, because there are a number of them with gazebos and small town feel. So we really want to we might want to do that, do it a little cheaper. But that's something we can negotiate. Do you have any must-haves as far as the adaptation goes?
I believe that, the costuming department, definitely we want the budget to go there, because the 3 drag queens have to look fabulous.
Okay.
Very important. And I know that the actors playing these roles will definitely want, as big a wig as they can get and as shiny a dress as they can get.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll recruit somebody from the New York Film Academy in Los Angeles. I'm sure we'll have some promising talent there. Maybe some, they'll be enthusiastic, hungry for work. So maybe we could go that route with the costumes. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming in, Kelly. I'll be in touch with your agent if we decide to move forward. And I bid you adieu.
Good evening.
Let's go with Piper Rayne. So we have Piper, we have Rayne. Talk to me.
Okay, I have a visual as well.
Clause and effect. Funny. I like it.
Yes, we are the author duo, Piper Rayne, and we are here to talk about Clause and Effect, a holiday romance. So it's a little bit like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles meets When Harry Met Sally. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
Yeah, so cross country, strangers to lovers, they're on the same plane. They don't exactly like each other. They end up sharing, they have the same seat assignment. And then so they start to not like each other. And then the plane has to do an emergency landing due to somebody else giving birth, not the heroine or anything.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's only one rental car available after the airport has to close down for the winter storm.
Only one rental car. So is that like a new twist?
They were late. They woke up late and to get to the last rental car. So.
Okay. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to add anything, Piper?
No, I don't. I think from there they travel from the Midwest to Portland, which is their final destination.
Okay. We're probably going to have to change the destination in the movie. Portland, it's, West Coast. I mean, kind of pricey. So maybe we could go, the other direction from the Midwest to the East Coast. Consider it, we'll talk about that. Okay. So who are you thinking for casting? Who are the main characters?
No, I don't really have anybody in mind.
Well, you had somebody for our heroine Tessa the other day. We were chatting about it. I forget who it was.
Are we talking Hallmark actors? Because they are, we have to book them now. They're busy. They're cranking out movies, all like 6 of them in a week. I mean, these people are ridiculous. We could also go to the New York Film Academy, which is an actual academy in Burbank, California. I'm sure we could get some, people who graduated top of their class or at least finished the class. So we could break some new talent. Are you willing to break some new talent?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's break some new talent then. Okay, good. I love that we're already way under budget on this. As far as must-haves, how festive is this? I mean, is set deck going to be like crazy or what?
They spent some time in a small town in Wyoming on one of their stops.
Wyoming. Okay. All right. Yeah. We might have to change that, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to make a small town at some point to be a small town. Like they have like an eggnog chugging competition, and of course they end up at a bed and breakfast where there's only one bed.
Eggnog. Does that also come as a vegan choice? Because if we get some vegan actors, I mean, if they're coming from LA, 90% chance they're vegan. What are we going to do about the nog? I guess that's a minor note. Okay, I like the chugging though. I like that we might have to change it to cider, hot malt cider, just so everyone is like, it's organic, it's vegan, it's safe for the environment. Any other production notes? Anything else? Are there any must-haves as far as the story? Because we are going to have to hire a screenwriter to adapt it because, we're really going, again, New York Film Academy graduate cheap. So what should we tell the screenwriter has to make it in to the movie?
I think definitely the fictional town of Christmas, Wyoming.
Okay, which will probably be set in like Connecticut. And do you have any representation? Am I calling you directly, sending you a text, email?
Yeah, you can speak with our agent, Kimberly Brower.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well, thanks so much for your time. Matt, Matt. Okay. You have 2 names. So I like it. You already have 2 names. So that's very versatile. So why don't you come on in? Okay.
All right.
Okay, Matt, pitch me.
All right. So I have got a story for you that people are going to love. Okay. The name of the story is Mistletoe and Mishigas. Right there, you've got Christmas and Hanukkah, interfaith, right? Okay, so you're already doubling your audience, okay?
Yep.
It is about Sheldon, who is a first grade teacher. Okay, so you've already got like, how cute is that, right? A male first grade teacher who gets transferred right after the Thanksgiving holiday, which is like not fun at all. He has to set up a new classroom and a new school. He's mortified and he has no one to help him. But the principal tells him that the custodian is lurking about in the school and probably maybe might help him. Turns out the custodian, his name is Theo, is a big old grump and does not want to help or even speak to this guy. Well, you can probably, figure out the rest of the story from there. So you've got Grumpy Sunshine right from the get-go. There's a little bit of forced proximity. There's a snowstorm because, we love that. There's some reason, I guess I could tell you why. There's some fake dating that happens. So Sheldon is invited to his ex-boyfriend's wedding on Christmas Eve, which is just like, what a dick move, right? Like to invite your ex-boyfriend to your Christmas Eve wedding. And he doesn't want to bring his twin sister, who's his like default date, who he lives with. So he's like, ooh, maybe I could bring this like kind of handsome, plus size, grumpy custodian. So we got some like body diversity going on here, which is like very hot right now, at least in like, MF romance, but like we're trying to like expand to make it diverse. And Theo, the custodian, his parents are coming for the holidays and they are so desperate to fix their son up and to have him be married because, they're like this, very traditional Jewish family. And they're like, oh my gosh, he's 36. Like he's about to die and he's not married. And so they're going to hire a yenta to matchmake for him. And he's like, oh, no. And so they kind of make an agreement to be each other's dates for the holiday. And you know what happens with fake dating. they fall in love. I also have a visual. This is the cover of the actual book, which you can see. You can see them on the cover. But I have a better visual because this book was made into a special edition by one of those, fancy romance companies. And the picture. So here they are. Look, they're snowed in. Look at them.
Oh,
wait a minute. And then this is like, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but you're gonna want to read the whole thing before you commit to a movie anyway. And then like on Christmas Eve, look at them outside.
Oh,
I mean, come on. Can't you just see the snow falling? The lights twinkling?
I could feel it. I could feel the snow on my nose. It's cold. It's frosty. It's delicious.
Now I will tell you one thing. Okay, so I've got some casting ideas, but I also have something I have to be honest about. So the original source material is pretty spicy. It's like very spicy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is either going to have to go to like Netflix or maybe even like, I don't know, Showtime, like HBO Max.
No. We do not want to go to Showtime. Nobody's watching holidays on Showtime. You don't want to take it to Showtime. We want it here. Yeah, probably too spicy for Hallmark. We could tone it down. Let's go as spicy as Netflix will allow. So we'll bring down the spice. First thing I got to note, can't do first grade because the kids with the child labor laws, it's going to kill us. We're going to lose daylight. It's going to be a mess. So
they're minimal. It's minimal. They're not like, it's like,
it's going to have to be high school. It's going to be after high school, but it's going to be 30-year-olds playing high school students. It's the only way around it. And they work for cheap. The kids, the parents, they want to pay for their college. They want too much. And the kids, they cry. There's germs. They tattle on each other. Just you don't want to deal with it. Okay. I like everything else. A lot of diversity. Who are you? Who is attached to this project?
So for Sheldon, who's the teacher, well, he was a first grade teacher. I don't know if it will work as a high school teacher. We may have to change the whole thing.
He might be teaching adults. We don't know.
I mean, who knows? But the way it's written, I envisioned Troye Sivan, who's like super hot right now, super, super hot. And then for Theo, who's the custodian, who's kind of grumpy, I was thinking like Jonah Hill, like it definitely has to be a bigger guy.
I could get my casting director on that. They're plugged in to all body sizes, looking for work on the screen. Could also go New York Film Academy, a lot of hungry actors. If you want to break new talent, let's do it with this project. Okay. As far as filming location, please do not name a major city. We're really looking for low budget here. So what do you got?
So the book takes place in a pretty small town, Portland, Maine. So it's like not super expensive. It's very beautiful. There's a lot of stuff that happens like by the water, by the ocean. There's like some like Christmas festival, light festival that happens in a park by the water.
Okay,
it's small town. The population, it's like 60,000, I think. And they would love to have us.
All right. Let's film it in Portland, Maine, but say it's Chicago. I think it's the only way to go.
Okay.
Okay. You got that fake dating. That's good. Grumpy Sunshine. Everyone loves that. Obviously, you're not writing the screenplay. We just don't do that. So the person who's writing the screenplay, if I were to give them one note about what has to be in the movie, so that way you're happy and don't want to sue us or trash us on social media.
I would say the one thing that really needs to stay is that he still needs to be a first grade teacher. That's kind of integral to the plot of the story. Even though they're like barely at school, but like there's a one student who kind of is like a connecting point between the two, and he needs to be like little. Like it's not going to work with a high school.
All right, you
student.
know what? AI is all the rage. I'm thinking a classroom of just AI kids.
Love it.
Okay, so the AI kids, also, I don't think we have to pay them, although now with all the SAG renegotiated contracts, I think that we're going to have to pay someone, probably just pay cyberspace with Bitcoin. Not sure how that works, but we're going to figure it out. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Happy holidays to you.
You too.
Well, now let's get to learn a little bit more about your novels, about your holiday romances. I'm going to ask you for the tropes. Which tropes did you use to tell the love story between your main characters? And then we're going to do heat level. And I have a holiday heat meter. And you can just tell me which one applies to your book. LaQuette, what are the tropes in Secret Heir for Christmas?
Forced proximity, secret identity, and single dad.
Secret identity. I was just speaking to someone recently and we were like, we haven't read or come across any secret identities lately. So
Yeah.
I dig that. I dig secret identity. There's no secret baby though, right? Anywhere?
No,
Okay.
the daughter is 5 years old and very much present and known.
Okay. No secrets there. Okay.
No secrets there. Just the secret identity of the billionaire. He doesn't want anyone. He doesn't want his fellow protagonist to know that he's a billionaire and that he's from this world of wealth and fame, because
Got it.
the other hero is very sort of gun shy where where fame and wealth and all of that are concerned. So
Okay.
he's hiding away, gave up all that, glitz and glam to come back to Brooklyn to live a simple life.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool. I dig it. So now what's the heat level that we're dealing with? I have a meter. Snuggled by the fire, which is sweet. Warm gingerbread, which is sexy. Spicy gumdrops, which is steamy. And ho ho hot, which would be like, very graphic.
I mean, it's graphic, but it is a Harlequin novel, so you can't go but so far with it. So I would say it's probably steamy, like, spicy.
Spicy gumdrops.
Yeah.
Ooh. Does everyone know the spicy gumdrops that
yeah.
I'm thinking of, where they all tasted just like your tongue was on fire and they had different colors but all tasted the same?
I'm gonna say I'm probably the only Canadian here, so that's probably why I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, they don't have spicy gumdrops in Canada. I wonder what they have.
So
Spicy gumdrops, they're a thing. They're awful, but they're a thing. Kelly, please share the tropes in It's a Fabulous Life.
Grumpy Sunshine romance, my favorite. And we also have a second chance romance since they knew each other in high school. Of course, there is the small town because that's central to and It's a Wonderful Life retelling.
Yes.
I also think that it has lots of queer joy and cozy Christmas vibes and a little sprinkling of magic.
So I'm getting a snuggled by the fire vibe.
That's the perfect way to describe the vibe of the book.
Piper Rayne, Clause and Effect, tropes, and heat meter.
okay, tropes. We have military hero. We have road trip romance, forced proximity, just one bed, enemies to lovers, and a little bit of small town romance with one of the stops that they're in for a little bit.
Heat meter,
I guess spicy.
gumdrops.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to send Piper some spicy gumdrops in the mail.
So
that
word to get there, but yeah.
Matt, what are the tropes of Mistletoe and Mishigas?
There are so many tropes. I didn't even realize how many until I finished. And then I was like, oh, and this, and this, and this. So the main tropes are grumpy sunshine, fake dating, and definitely forced proximity, because the big chunk of the book is a snowed in situation. But there's also only one bed. And there's also hurt comfort is a big trope in this book. Theo, I didn't say this in my pitch before, but Theo, the custodian, is a veteran. So he has some PTSD from being in the military. And there's also the other big trope is found family is a big one. Yeah. And the other one is, which I didn't even know this was a trope, but then someone told me it was, size diversity. So like you got like a big guy and a little guy. So like that's a trope apparently that I didn't know. I have a plus size main character, which is not really a trope, but it doesn't happen often, especially in queer books. So we're with like usually the female in like an FM book is the plus size character, right. And she's like always with a hunk, which like good for her. But like in the MM books, they're usually both hunks. So I was like, no, that's not going to happen. And I would say the heat meter on my book is like whatever the highest one is.
Oh, ho ho hot.
It's ho ho hot.
Oh,
that's what I've been told anyway. I don't know. It's pretty explicit and spicy.
So, in crafting your holiday romances, I'd love to know how you got into the headspace to write a holiday romance, because I'm assuming all of you, most of you, wrote your novels not during the holidays, correct? Okay. So, I'd like to go around the Zoom room, and if you could tell me when you were writing your holiday romance and how you went about getting into the appropriate headspace to craft festivity on the page. I'm going to go with Piper Rayne. When were you working on the novel, Clause and Effect, and how did you get in the proper headspace? And did you get in the headspace together?
Okay, well, our writing process as a duo is a little different, so people would be surprised. So we actually plot everything together, and then one of us does the whole rough draft, and then the other one comes in afterwards and edits it, and then sees it through the editing process. Okay. So we weren't working at the same time. So I was the rough draft on this one, so I was working on it in July. And let's see, I watched some Christmas movies. I watched Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. And then probably Christmas music a couple times when I was writing. But yeah, it wasn't hard for me to get in that Christmas spirit.
Okay.
I did the same on revisions. Christmas music and Christmas candles.
What was the scent?
Anything that's Christmassy. So like pine, anything that's like, sometimes they have like a cedar wood. I'm big on that. Sometimes they have like a holly berry one. I have like a drawer full of candles in my office. So I just pull one out. Cinnamon is a big one.
Okay. No sugar cookie candle?
I don't have a sugar cookie candle.
Oh, maybe they don't have them in Canada. I don't know.
It's quite possible.
So now, Piper, by the time you were working on Clause and Effect, it was obviously later than July, right? So was it later?
No, because when Rayne's writing lead, she writes a book in like 2 weeks. Because that's all she does for 2 weeks. So I am also working on it in the same month. Yeah, it was also July. Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed. Wow,
I'm a procrastinator.
She is a procrastinator.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Kelly, when were you writing It's a Fabulous Life, and how did you get into the festive headspace?
So I've worked on this book in different spurts and chunks. So there were periods of time where I was writing it in August when it was 90 degrees. And then a year ago at this time, I was working on like my second round of edits. Okay. So that was actually really nice to just have all the Christmas decorations out and have it be like, ooh, the tree is glowing in the background. So that was really nice. But in the 90-degree days, I did listen to Christmas music for sure. I'm one of the writers who can like have music playing. So I did it as much as I could because it can only go so far.
Yeah.
And then I'd try to shake it up like classical music Christmas and jazzy Christmas. And then like, the standards like Bing and Rudolph. And I watched Christmas movies like off season just to sometimes get that like warm, cozy feel.
Yeah. Do you have a particular go-to holiday movie?
Other than It's a Wonderful Life?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little bit of a given. If Elf is on TV, I'll probably watch Elf.
Yeah.
Or I'm actually writing a self-sapphic Elf retelling right now. So.
Really? Well, then you're gonna have to come back next year and we'll do this all again. All right, very cool. LaQuette, when were you writing Secret HEIR for Christmas?
I'd say maybe February, March a year ago.
Okay.
And I didn't really do much to get in the mood because the book was not initially supposed to be a Christmas story. At least I had not imagined it that way. And Harlequin said to me, "Hey, so how about we turn this into a Christmas story?"
Now that's a big reveal because this wasn't intended to be Christmas.
No, it not from when I pitched the story and they bought the story, it was not a Christmas. It was not supposed to be a Christmas story. One, because the series that it's built on, this is the end of the series, and one of the run through threads of the series is that the patriarch of the family is dying. And so I'm like, I don't really know if that's going to be a great thing for Christmas. Like, how are we going to do that?
Right.
And they're like, but we trust you. We know you can do it.
Aha. Okay.
So I had to figure, and that's where this whole idea of like the Christmas party, the patriarch knows his time is limited, and so he wants to have one big final like
Okay.
family Christmas gala where all his family from near and far come to celebrate this one last time.
Okay.
And so the secret billionaire goes, goes all out to make that happen for his uncle. And that's how he ends up falling in love with Carter. But it worked, but I wasn't so sure about it. I wasn't that
Oh,
sold
wow.
when they brought the
So you had a lot of mental prep going into this because you have to switch gears and then be like, okay, now I got to throw in holiday stuff. But then to do that, I've got to get into a festive mood. So how did you accomplish that?
Well, I didn't really have to get in a festive mood because the story really isn't festive. I mean, things are happening, Christmas things are happening, right?
Yeah.
They're picking Christmas decorations. They're talking about lights and stuff that's out in the city.
Okay.
All of the things that you would normally have in a Christmas movie. And
Okay.
the way they fall in love is by planning this party. That's how they get to spend their time together. And but because of the heaviness of, the pending loss of the patriarch, it's really not festive. And I kind of felt sort of that oftentimes when we get these holiday movies, they're always so extra amazing and happy, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think they sometimes, and that's great, but as we all know, there are some of us that don't necessarily have good times at the holidays because we have lost someone, and maybe it's harder, to sort of celebrate during that time. And so I thought, well, maybe this was an opportunity to sort of look at Christmas, that sort of Christmas holiday season, from a different perspective, from one where you're trying to celebrate, but also you're going through this impending loss, and how to balance the two things. And it turned, I was very proud of the way it turned out, but it was not intended initially to be a Christmas story at all.
Yeah. Wow. So many interesting revelations in this episode. Canada doesn't have, spicy gumdrops or sugar cookie candles. LaQuette wasn't intending to write a holiday romance. Matt, it is your turn. When were you writing Mistletoe and Mishigas, and how did you get into the proper headspace?
I wrote this book kind of like what Kelly said. I started this book in November, and I wrote like half of the book, and then I stopped and didn't really touch it for like a few months because I had other things going on with like a different book. And then I was like, oh crap, I have to finish this book. Like my editor's waiting and I haven't written this book, so I better finish it. So I wrote the second half in, I want to say March. And this is going to sound horrible and boring, but I didn't do anything. Like I didn't play music. The only thing I did do, so Sheldon, who is one of the main characters, the first grade teacher, he listens to a lot of Christmas music. So, and a certain like maybe Christmas music that isn't like necessarily what I'm going to be listening to, like all the divas, like, if Ariana Grande or Lady Gaga or Gwen Stefani has a Christmas song, it's on his playlist like that. He's like that kind of guy. So I did listen to those songs enough so that I could write about them.
Okay.
But I wasn't like playing it all the time. Honestly, I just really like the holiday season myself. And it was not difficult for me to conjure up, the lights, the food, the feeling of the holidays. So I just kind of like, it's kind of like what I do when I'm writing anyway, right? Like I'm just making it all up. I'm just pretending. So I was just pretending that, and I will say it did feel a little strange, like to be writing about like going to the light festival and Christmas and all the foods and things like that, and decorating when it wasn't that time, but also like everything that I write is made up anyway. So I just kind of like made it up.
All right. That's fair. That's a good answer. Number 1. There's a new kinky trope in erotic romance called holiday food play. In these books, you could find couples using blank to spank each other. So, I put candy canes.
I did too.
Candy canes.
I
Candy
did
canes.
too.
What did everyone else put?
Oh,
Gingerbread
Gingerbread
men.
men.
That's spicy.
Sausages is
I don't know why.
cutting board. I didn't.
And a cutting
Nice.
board.
That sounds painful.
Honestly, we're not
Like a holiday shaped cutting board.
Yes, of course. Yes, the Christmas tree.
Is that what you guys do in Canada? Is that you decorate like cutting boards or something? Okay. So candy cane. So that means that Matt and LaQuette each get 2 points. Okay. And Kelly, gingerbread men. Now that's interesting. So are we talking about a big gingerbread or just like a fistful of gingerbread men like spanking someone with it? Like what are we doing with the gingerbread?
Well, I was envisioning like a gingerbread man cookie that are usually, I don't know, like this big.
Really?
And they're
Are they that
solid
big?
though. That's the thing. They're a solid cookie.
It's true. They are pretty hard. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The gingerbread men are very hard. So anyway, so the next one. The newest trend in romance fiction is writing Christmas songs as romance novels. It sounds like a fun idea, but blank would make a horrible romance novel. Which Christmas song would make a horrible romance novel? I put Jingle Bells.
I did
Frosty the Snowman.
too.
Hey,
Silent
we
Night.
Please,
Please,
Daddy,
Daddy,
don't get drunk this Christmas. Which was this album, John Denver album, my dad had when I was little.
I was going to say it's not a Canadian hit, but yeah.
It's not a match, but I think LaQuette's is the best. Even though
Yeah.
it's not a match.
Silent
Agreed.
Night actually,
Agreed.
although it could be sexy, a silent night, like just
The baby there? Round young
there's
virgin,
babies there. Oh well, you're thinking of.
round young virgin, mother and child.
Well, I mean, you're just taking you could just take the title, not the words. But you know what? It could be there could be like a secret baby Jesus romance.
Oh, I'm sure there is somewhere.
Secret
There
baby
probably is.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, so Frosty the Snowman. So you think that would be a bad one? I think that could be good because he could come alive or something.
It could be like a
Happy
shifter.
and jolly.
A shifter, yeah.
And he's got that corn cob, that nose.
A pipe and a button nose.
So many possibilities with Frosty. The John Denver one. I've never heard of that one. That would be good. Rayne, what did you put down again?
I didn't have the. I'm sorry. My dog started barking in like the middle, so I was trying to make this
Oh, okay. Well,
and nobody's home at my house.
Kelly, you are now on the board here. You've got 2 points because you matched Jingle Bells with me. So we got 2. Okay. In Liz Donatelli's Enemies to Lovers retelling of Charles Dickens' The Christmas Carol, grumpy billionaire Silver Fox, Ebenezer Scrooge, falls in love with blank. All right. I put Bob Cratchit.
I did too. Well, I put Mr. and Mrs. Cratchit.
Hey.
Wow. I like that
And
direction.
I
Okay,
like
I will
that
give you
answer.
points. The Ghost of Christmas Future. I was almost going to pick a ghost.
I almost did too.
Because then it's like a monster romance.
Mrs.
and-
Claus. Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, the paranormal romance would work. Rayne, what did you put?
Yeah, Mrs. Cratchit. Mhm.
This is Cratchit. Now, I see.
I was trying to think of one of the daughters' names too, but I couldn't think
Wait, they had a daughter?
of. No, and
They have
like
Many children.
Yeah, they have a bunch of
Yeah.
children.
I thought they
I've
just
played
had Tiny
Mrs.
Tim.
Cratchit twice in stage productions of A Christmas Carol, and there's always a mess of children.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
interesting. And you
We
put
only
Christmas
learned that
Kids?
one of their names is Tiny Tim. That's the
Right.
only name we hear.
Right.
They had a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'd like to know all the names. So you put the Ghost of Christmas Past, Kelly? Is that what you
I did the Ghost of Christmas Past because it's a grumpy sunshine romance.
Okay. So you know what? I'm going to say that you and Matt match because you both picked ghosts.
Woo!
So you're each, I keep taking, here we go. Here's the points. All right. So you're each going to get 1 + 1. LaQuette, you get 2 because you put Bob Cratchit. I don't think Piper and Rayne match.
No, I don't think so. We're losing this game.
Okay. Mrs. Claus apparently appears in Christmas Carol at some point.
Why
So
not?
that's pretty cool.
Why not?
I'm glad that she got a walk-on role. All right, we got 2 more to go. According to Bookstagram, the only one bed trope has been replaced by the holiday trope, only one blank. Let us reveal. I put only one sleigh.
Me too.
Only one
But
sleigh.
only one
Only
Christmas
one
bakery.
present. Only one
You're always
blank.
making some
I
sort
almost put present.
Only one stocking. Oh, I need to
I
know how
almost
that
put
works.
stocking.
Only one stocking, like they're in like a giant stock. Oh, wait, that could
Yeah,
get
why
that could get
not?
funky. LaQuette, what did you put?
I put only one Christmas bakery because every romance, holiday romance has a Christmas bakery at its center somewhere.
That is true, and you could do a lot in a Christmas bakery besides eat. So it looks like me. So Kelly, you matched with me, right? We had only one
Yeah.
sleigh. So let's see. Kelly got another 2. Okay. So now this is the last one. Liz Donatelli's paranormal holiday romantic suspense novel features blank shifters who are CIA operatives who live and love at the North Pole. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Let us reveal what kind of shifters. I put reindeer.
I put reindeer too.
Yeti. I like the Yeti.
Me.
Piper, which one did you put?
Elf.
Elf. Elf shifter. Okay. LaQuette, you put. Did you also?
Reindeer.
You also. And Matt, what did you?
Woo.
I said snowmen shifters.
LaQuette, you got 2, and then Kelly, you got 2 because you both matched with me. Oh wait, and so Rayne, you also got 2. So actually, you got on the board. You did not win, but you got on the board by 1 point. You won, Kelly. You win bragging rights. And next year, you'll return to talk about your elf-inspired holiday romance, and you will have to play to defend your title. Thank you all for playing Match Game Holiday Romance Edition. You were all very good sports about it. And thank you for making time to join me here on Reader Seeks Romance. Kelly, LaQuette, Piper Rayne, and M.A., happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.